Terrastorian makes great videos, or they do, because apparently this is a group, a conglomerate of content creators, yeah, not just one person, and they have made some seriously quality videos so far. They've only made a couple on the channel, actually, but pretty much everyone's been a really good video, good lore drops, well made, well edited, eloquently spoken, and I've enjoyed them so far. So we're going to watch the latest one here from Terrastorian. What is Originium Arts? ARKNIGHTS, preemptive like, of course, guys. If you haven't checked out Terrastorian, go check them out. They make some really good content. Definitely deserve more views over there on the channel, man. Let's check it out. There's chapter 7 spoilers.
Hey everyone, welcome to Terrastorian, the channel where we unravel the lore of ARKNIGHTS. I'm Half a Cup of Rice, and from now on, I'll be joining you guys for some episodes going into the future.
Okay.
In this episode, we'll be—
Wait, we watched this dude on other channels, yeah? We've watched this dude on other channels.
talking about Originium Arts, which
Okay.
serves as the primary form of what is essentially magic within the world of ARKNIGHTS. Given ARKNIGHTS' soft world-building approach, it's tempting to say that Originium Arts function simply because they just do. However, such an approach wouldn't do justice to this unique magic system. In this video, we'll dive deep into the lore behind—
You know, just looking at some of those settings there. Man. Hypergryph. I don't care what anybody else says. Do this for me. If you ever watch this, fuck everybody else. Do this for me. Make it so there's an event, a side story, some kind of however you have to shoehorn it into the game, yeah. Allow it so it's like a memory, a flashback, a recording, whatever it might be, where I get to go back and explore some of Terra through an event that happened in Terra, in Enfield, with Enfield's gameplay, with Enfield's graphics, with this aesthetic. Please let that happen, because just looking at the artwork and the places, I'm like, oh my god, dude, there need to be an Enfield, man. However you can force them into the game, make it happen, please.
behind Originium Arts. We'll explore how the Originium Arts actually function, who can wield them, and the various classifications and variations that shape them. So without further ado, let's get into Originium Arts.
Alright, let's go.
Before we dive into Originium
That's a big
Arts,
ass gun. Is
it's
that Exia's
essential to understand
gun?
what Originium itself is.
Exalta.
This foreign material has profoundly shaped life and civilization on Terra. Visually, it appears as a
I have to do this every single time. Every single time I hear that music, I can't help but pause, because I'm like, oh my god, that's like a piece of music, man. It just getcha, you know? It's fucking beautiful.
transparent black ore, though some variants exhibit different colors.
It's gorgeous.
While Originium is typically found underground, it can also manifest in other environments. However,
so basically, Originium really is like asbestos that gives you powers before it gives you cancer, right? You know? It's just that in real life, asbestos just gives you cancer. Just to give you powers beforehand.
ordinary minerals, Originium possesses the unique ability to self-propagate, even growing on organic tissue. In fact, most beings born on Terra have some trace amounts of Originium coursing through their blood. It exists in various forms, ranging from gas and dust particles, to small shards, and even massive clusters the size of mountains. The true value of Originium lies in the immense energy it generates. Yet this power comes with significant
Yeah, it's probably
risks.
a bit more like something like
Originium is
plutonium or
highly
uranium, right? Because
unstable
it's got energy
and can easily
components,
trigger
hasn't it?
catastrophic incidents when activated. Worse still, it negatively impacts its surroundings. One of the most well-documented phenomenon linked to Originium is catastrophes, devastating natural disasters that reshape landscapes and civilizations. If Originium is an energy source, then Originium arts are how people of Terra harness and control it. By tapping into the power of Originium, individuals can manipulate its energy to cast their arts, hence the word Originium arts. The term Originium arts was first coined in Victoria. However,
Of course it was. Of course it was. Of course it was.
the history
Why
of
wouldn't it be?
Originium arts stretches back nearly as far as humanity itself. In ancient times, people discovered the connection between the human body
It's
and
what us Victorians
Originium
do,
energy,
you know? It's what we
leading
do.
to the development of various methods to harness this power. Initially, these methods were referred to as magic, sorcery, or alchemy, reflecting both awe and misunderstanding. It is easy to imagine early Terrans perceiving Originium arts as supernatural phenomena. Over time, different regions and cultures develop their own
First you take L and then you take it.
often shaped by their unique environments and belief. In Sami, for example, we picture snow priests wielding frost magic in the snow-covered forests.
That's a cool piece of artwork, that is. That's fucking dope.
In Lathania, Originium arts are deeply intertwined with music. Where
that's really cool, I do. I really like that how it's intertwined with music in Lathania. I think that's actually really cool.
Enhance their mystical abilities. Meanwhile, the Sarkaz have a long-standing tradition of witchcraft.
Again, you know, like as well, the way a lot of the artwork's done, in whether it's fan-made or official, whatever, it's reminiscent, I say, of things such as some 40k artwork and some of like the stuff that you probably. Like, I remember, like, as a kid, like, my mum and dad having stuff, like, because, like, my mum and dad were into Lord of the Rings massively. And, like, through the 80s and stuff, there was, like, a style of fantasy artwork that was a little bit, it had, like, a bit more of a grittiness to it, you know? Which I like in, like this here. It's got that sort of vibe, you know? It feels foreboding almost. Not just in the images that are in there, but the way it's actually painted or the way it's actually drawn or however it's done. This is probably digital, I'm sure, but you know, it's like it really evokes that feeling without just showing, like, being like, oh, look, scary monster kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Rooted in their bloodline, and the Sancta have a history of using Originium arts to power powerful firearms akin to our modern-day counterparts. Some scholars suggest that individuals born into specific natural environments are more likely to develop Originium arts related to their surroundings. However, this theory remains unproven. A more plausible explanation is that Terrans naturally adapt to the tools available to them, utilizing Originium arts not due to an innate connection with their environment, but simply as a powerful, convenient, yet unpredictable tool. Now, before we continue, if you've been enjoying the videos,
Terrans, like humans are, you know, adaptability for humans is a strong form, isn't it? You know, it's one of our biggest pros as a species, you know. We are very adaptable, so, you know, it makes sense. Why not adapt to something like that?
So far, and want to support
Volume up, please.
Mission and sharing more of ARKNIGHTS' fantastic lore, you can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving a comment, and sharing our videos. It takes a lot of people to write these videos, from researchers, script writers, to narrators, to video editors, and, of course, graphic designers. Your support means the world to us at the Terrastorian team, and helps our team continue producing content. Now that we have baseline knowledge of what
have these guys got a Patreon?
Let's talk about who can actually wield Originium arts.
These guys should set up a Patreon. He didn't just mention something about a Patreon, did I just zone out? I should set up a Patreon.
Wielding Originium arts. It is important to remember, however, that this definition of a caster is more nebulous than the in-game class, as many individuals that are not—
You posted one of the coldest ARKNIGHTS art to ever exist in React Smash. Let me have a look. It is fire, that is, man. Might have to have a quick little save that and stick it as a wallpaper. I really like that piece of art, man. I do.
Strictly of the caster class.
He's a graphic designer.
Still capable of using arts, such as Sancto with their firearms, i.e. Exusiae, falling into the sniper category, and Iberian Inquisitors with their hand cannons, i.e. Irene, falling into the guard category. Most Terrans possess some level of proficiency with arts, regardless of whether they are infected with oripathy or not. To cast arts, a caster typically requires a catalyst, while infected individuals can use the Originium within themselves and use their own bodies as a medium. Doing so is extremely dangerous. A well-known example is that some infected use their damaged organs to enhance their arts assimilation and cast more powerful spells, but this greatly accelerates the progression of oripathy.
We watched this before, didn't we?
To prevent this and allow non-infected individuals to cast arts safely, Terrans have created an external casting device called an arts unit to perform their arts. The most common arts unit utilized by Terrans is the long-handed staff. However, art units can vary greatly in shape, size, and in particular function. Some of these art units enhance, amplify, or stabilize the capabilities of a caster, while others are suited towards a specific type of arts, such as the fire.
Is there a specific thing within the objects, weapons, you know, guns, swords, whatever the weapon might be, that allows it to be used as like the conductor to express the arts? You know, like, is there a specific compound in there, material in there, whatever it might be?
Firearms of
Or
Terra.
is that never really explained?
Now, firearms within the world of Arknights are deserving of their own video entirely. However, we'll give a brief rundown of them as they are
It needs to have
pertinent
Originium in
to
it.
Originium arts.
Right, okay.
Firearms were first discovered by the Sancta of Laterano, who remained their primary users. According to
badass
modern
piece of art.
theories, firearms function as highly precise and complex integrated casting unit systems, designed to fire etched ammunition with Originium circuits embedded in both the firearm and the ammunition itself.
Okay, alright, there we go.
Firing a gun requires the fine-tuned use of
Should've just let him cook. Answer the question for me there.
Originium arts to simultaneously control both the weapon and the bullet while
Technologically,
making micro adjustments.
What did I
This
just
high
say?
level of
Technologically,
operational difficulty is offset by its exceptional benefits, which are remarkable accuracy, extended range, and sustained firepower. As Originium technology has advanced, many factions and institutions have taken a keen interest in firearms and have attempted to analyze them. However, over the past few decades, progress in this field has largely stagnated, as the technological barriers for firearms production have far exceeded researchers' expectations. Nevertheless, these efforts have not been entirely fruitless. The discoveries made during this research have contributed to improvements in other weapon systems and have inspired innovative approaches to the development of casting devices. While most people can use Originium arts, a caster's adaptability and proficiency determine the depth, range, and speed at which they can wield and learn them. Current research suggests that a person's adaptability
We have to say it. We have to say it. She's on screen, guys. We have to say it. The best wife. I'm sorry, the best wife.
at birth is highly random. However, adaptability can also vary between different races.
I don't
and
make the
environmental
rules.
factors.
You know, I just
For
enforce
example,
them.
Sarkaz and Caprine tend to have noticeably higher average proficiency in Originium arts. The Sarkaz have had a long-standing exposure to, and a unique relationship with Originium, while many Caprine, especially in Lathania, are nurtured from a young age to study Originium arts.
One thing as well about Lithonia, I love the outfits and stuff as well, you know? They're really stylish.
On the other hand, Agarians, who
What's
stay
going on,
in the
Karga?
ocean, have minimal exposure
Landman
to
taxi driver.
Originium and no significant
You
history
need to have a
with
job to do
Originium
that,
arts,
though.
resulting in generally lower adaptability. Within the Rhode Island system, adaptability is classified under Originium arts assimilation, which is divided into 5 levels. These ranks were developed by one of their own elite operators and experts in Originium arts, Logos. Ranked
Okay.
from lowest to highest, these levels are flawed, normal, standard, excellent, and outstanding.
Sarkaz are way more proficient in arts, but as a drawback, yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, they're a bit more prone to it. Yeah. Or way more.
Occasionally, an operator's Originium arts assimilation, or other attributes, this symbol instead of a standard classification. This implies that their abilities exceed the outstanding level, making them impossible to measure within the standard
Okay.
5-tier system.
So, kind of like an omega level mutant, yeah?
On Terra, the traditions and academic theories surrounding Originium arts are vast and diverse. However, due to the unique and ever-evolving nature
How was she sitting down? Hold up.
Originium arts are vast and diverse. However, due to the
Make it
unique
make
and
sense.
ever-evolving nature of Originium arts, establishing a single comprehensive theory to fully explain their complexities remains challenging. This difficulty is further compounded by the emergence of new and unprecedented Originium arts over time. The classification of Originium arts varies depending on multiple factors, such as the types of arts being used, the bloodline or lineage associated
Okay.
with specific arts, and the technology or medium employed to cast them. Given this diversity, it is important to recognize that these classifications exist on a spectrum rather than as rigid, absolute categories. Leithanian has developed one of the most sophisticated frameworks for understanding Originium arts, the Leithanian classical arts theory. Built upon centuries of accumulated knowledge and academic inquiry, this theory provides a comprehensive system for classifying nearly all known Originium arts. Contrary to the common perception that Leithanian is simply a nation where arts are cast through music, its scholars have delved into a wide range of arts disciplines, organizing them into 6 major schools.
Okay.
Beschwörung, or conjuration arts, harness the energy within Originium to produce physical phenomena,
Beschwörung.
usually through a specific object as a medium. This includes exerting a force on objects to move or alter their state, generating shockwaves in the air and other similar effects. An example of someone using this form of arts is Rosemontis. Although her arts have been further enhanced and modified due to experiments conducted on her, they primarily manifest as conjuration, allowing her to manipulate her 4 slabs of iron in combat. Hefouufong, or
So
evocation
I guess
art,
that comes back to sound in a sense, though. Yeah, you know, because obviously shockwaves in regards to moving molecules through the air, just like how sound does, right?
convert Originium energy into other forms before releasing it. Casters proficient in this school can control fire, electricity,
I was just about to say that. Is that like things like heat and stuff then?
arrow, and other elemental forces. A few examples of characters who can use this kind of arts are Skyfire, who wields fire, and Frostnova, who manipulates ice. Umvanlung,
I like Frostnova, I do. I like Frostnova.
or transmutation arts, involves the reshaping of the matter itself. Arts in this school alter the physical and chemical structure of objects. The most famous example is the legend
Okay, does that mean like you can, break structures down, manipulate them, all that sort of stuff? Potentially manipulate, like, couldn't like you even like manipulate somebody's blood or something with that?
legendary art of alchemy, which involves casting arts on minerals to change their composition, ultimately
I just think she's a
extracting
cool
something new
character.
from them. Iberia was once renowned for its alchemy, and the character Thorns is one of the few known individuals still alive who practices it. In particular, Thorns the Lodestar wields an ancient alchemical artifact that can transform into multiple forms, depending on his needs. The Bessenrun, or augmentation arts, allows its users to enhance bodily functions.
Okay.
Casters specializing in this school can amplify physical attributes such as strength and reflexes.
Okay,
These
cool.
arts can also enhance brain function, granting individuals cognitive abilities
Make yourself smart. Okay, that's cool.
beyond normal limits. One example of augmentation arts in practice is Saria, who uses her mastery over calcium to fortify her body, strengthening specific areas, and primarily employing her arts for self-preservation and
Okay, so you can become the thing.
the
Okay.
protection of others. As the name suggests, Wiederherstellung, or restoration arts, focus on healing
Wiederherstellung.
and restoring the health of living beings. The primary challenge in
Healers! We know that.
casting restorative arts lies in the fact that its effectiveness depends not only on the caster's adaptability with arts, but also their understanding of the recipient's physiological structure.
You'd think in a sense there'd be some sort of crossover with it, like the ability to restore and like manipulate things as well, right? Because surely there's got to be some sort of like when you're healing somebody, there's got to be some sort of like manipulation of like the cells and the body itself down to like the base level, right? Surely, you know, to heal a wound, you're obviously having to manipulate it to encourage the body to do some of its own work as well, I guess.
This is why most healing arts are limited to treating external injuries. Presumably, medics proficient in arts may have some mastery over restoration arts. One notable example of a practitioner with high adaptability in this field is Touch. As an elite medic operator in Rhodes Island, Touch possesses the ability to revert objects to their previous state.
Okay.
Vazagon, or divination arts, are a complex and obscure discipline that focuses.
So these are the tea leaf readers, yeah? And these are the ones where everyone's just like, yeah, just to pay them no mind. Just nod along. Just nod along, right? You can manipulate cells, you give people cancer. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do right, you know, like you could, it's like, it's like, you know, when you think back to things like in Marvel and stuff, right? You know, there's certain mutants and stuff that have particular powers that you don't really think too deep about. Then when you actually think about it, you know, like, you think about like somebody like Magneto, right? There's a reason why dude's so powerful. Like, dude obviously can control, you know, magnetic metal, you know, but he can also, the way his powers work, he can actually control the Earth itself. You know, dude could stop the planet rotating and rotate it another way, actually tapping into the magnetic field of the planet. You know, like you think about characters that can freeze and how they actually do it, the way they can manipulate things to actually go to next level in regards to the power, you know, doing things like freezing somebody's blood, freezing the droplets of moisture in the air and stuff like that. When you think about powers where people have the ability to manipulate things on a real base level, like the amount of things they're capable of doing in like a fantasy setting is actually kind of crazy. She can heal 2 SP to me. Trust me, bro. Arts. What's this here? The Sarkas are the first Terran race to come into contact with the oldest form of Originium, giving rise to their ancient racial curse, a heightened vulnerability to her empathy. So it's like kind of almost like bred into him, like, right, yeah. I'm a healer but give cancer. Oops. So Avatar bloodbending. It's like fuck, I was trying to think of got the fucking Marvel character now. Anyway, let's get back to
interacting with, influencing, and altering the thoughts and perceptions of living beings.
Oh, okay.
The most common arts in this school
Professor X.
involve beast control, though the full extent of this field remains largely unexplored. Virtuosa's arts is a prime example of
what's up, Neo?
divination arts, as she uses her instrument to manipulate those who hear her music, allowing their inner desires to sway them. Sarkaz witchcraft is one of the most intriguing and widely discussed magical traditions. Many non-Sarkaz grow up hearing tales of sinister and enigmatic Sarkaz magic, often associating it with fear and superstition. However, in reality, most Sarkaz witchcraft are simply less common forms of Originium arts. Centuries of prejudice and discrimination have distorted public perception, with some regions even banning Sarkaz individuals from participating in magical research. From a modern academic standpoint, Sarkaz witchcraft is a broad and complex category of ancient magic, consisting of unique Originium arts passed down through bloodlines, unlike conventional arts, which are typically individualized and random in nature. Despite ongoing research, the mechanisms behind this hereditary transmission remains a mystery. As a result, many continue to use the discriminatory term witchcraft to separate Sarkaz arts from other forms of Originium arts, further reinforcing long-standing biases. Vampires possess the ability to manipulate blood, both their own and that of others. Among their most distinct practices is the art of purifying their own blood. One of the most prominent users of blood arts is Dukorel.
That just makes me think again, going back to Magneto, you know, in the X-Men movie, when the bloke, he's given the drink and it puts a bit of extra iron in his blood, and dude literally fucking rips the iron out of his blood kind of things and turns it into the pellets, starts shooting him around. That's so fucking sick, that is.
Better known as the Prince of Blood, or the Sanguinarch. The Sanguinarch is also capable of creating parasitic spawns that resemble leeches. Gargoyles are masters of the geokinetic Originium arts. Also called the Children of Soil and Stone, they are known for their ability to construct fortresses and animate stone constructs. The character Mudrock is one of the few surviving gargoyles who shows a fondness for architecture, while also being able to create animated constructs in the form of colossal stone figures.
Okay, that's cool.
Banshees are renowned for their arts tied with both spoken and written language. They channel their power through voice or by writing with a unique wand called a bone pen. The bone pen allows them to cast art.
Kind of reminds me a little bit like the Benny Gesserit from Dune.
and perform
And they use the
elegies
voice.
for the dead. Logos, an elite operator of Rhodes Island and the leader of the Cambalis of Banshees, shows this ability. By writing his spells with the bone pen, Logos converts the words he writes into a conduit for Originium arts, allowing the meaning behind each word to manifest. The DI are known for their mental or
Oof, wrong mic. Wrong mic, are we on the wrong mic there?
Originium arts, which are categorically akin to Vasagon, divination type arts. The DI can manipulate others' emotions and were infamous for their ability to deceive, inflict psychological trauma,
Logos
and
mom's
prey
got
upon
it
the
going
minds of their
on.
victims. Nymph is a DI who chose to remain in Cadsel. Despite her heritage, she does not embody the notoriety typically associated with the DI, something that often frustrates her due to the misunderstanding and prejudice she faces. The Nahzeda are renowned for their Originium arts related
Bro, these fucking artwork, man. Holy shit, dude.
to decay and rot. The more casualties a battlefield sees, the stronger they become. They possess the ability to absorb the essence of the dead, and in some cases, even reanimate them. The most well-known Nahzeda is Nesseline, often referred to as the Nahzeda King. As the oldest member of the court,
Nahzeda King. Almost a little bit Nazgully, you know? Almost a little bit Nazgully.
He commands arts rooted in death and decay to bolster his forces, earning him the grim title of the personification of war and death. The Damazti cluster are widely recognized for their shape-shifting abilities. They can form malleable liquid-like bodies, assume the appearance of others with uncanny accuracy, and even divide themselves into multiple separate entities. Due to their collective and fluid nature, the Damazti refer to themselves using first-person plural pronouns, viewing themselves as a single conglomerate rather than individual beings. Notably, the Sarkaz Absurdus units have been trained by the Damazti cluster to perform body transformation acts, including the ability to split themselves into two separate forms.
I was going to make a joke. I'm going to stay away from me. I'm not going to mention it.
The lineages are known for their space manipulation Originium arts and their immortality, granted by the use of phylacteries. Their spatial mastery allows them to teleport and control space through what appear to be invisible strings. Fremont, the leader of the Liches, also served as a mentor and close companion to the Witch King of Lethanian. Together, they once sought to uncover the secrets of the Kageraik, a dimension believed to be the origin of demons and the mysterious Dominator. The Wendigos are known for their immense size and
Is this what you're saying I should skip? Should I skip this or is this a problem? Was he going to give me like some Patriot spoilers or something, is it? What we doing here, chap? We skip into the Cyclops arts. Skip the character part. Most liches are pretty chill too. Not because they're gender neutral though, they are just because they're literally 100 motherfuckers. Think Borg. Patriot spoiler, yeah. Okay, skip the Patriot part. Alright, should we go to... Here we go.
For their gift of foresight and prophecy.
We'll just skip that whole bit.
Cyclops possesses a unique third eye that allows them to perceive future events, visions that often foretell disaster.
I don't know.
Their prophecies are infamous for inevitably coming true, one way or another. Vala Quinn, a Cyclops operator,
I would rather not have Patriot spoilers, I'm not gonna lie.
Her purpose is crystal clear. She sees the outcome and searches for the cause. To avert the catastrophe which she envisions looming over Sami, she is willing to ally with anyone who shares her concern for the country and its endless frozen fields.
Her design's dope.
The Diablos are an
probably some shit like Patriots and Wendigo,
known for their extraordinary control over fire.
My god!
It is said that their flames burned as hot, if not hotter, than normal fire conjuration. One of the most infamous Diablos was Balor Saka, the king who usurped his predecessor, Goldol. Though the Diablos are now believed to be extinct, their shards remain. These shards are powerful remnants that are now in the possession of various Terran factions,
Ooh, okay.
including the Colombian military. One
Ooh.
such Diablo shard resides within Ifrit. Though originally a
Within
Sapper,
her?
she is capable of using Diablo's based abilities due to this shard. Some
Yeah,
of
that's
the
kinda
elder
cool.
races are shown to possess Originium arts that are also passed down through bloodlines. However, unlike the Sarkaz races, they are not stigmatized. The Neural clan, descended from the Elder Pegasus race,
Man, she looks so good.
wields arts associated with the power of light. Members of the Knights Mora, such as Narantuya and Tola, exhibit Originium arts linked to the feeling of dread. Tola, for instance, can summon
a
an
cool
army
looking
of
character.
Kisigs.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
that's cool.
the Draco, such as Eblana and Lochshiny, possesses abilities reminiscent of Vita Heshtalam or Restoration arts. However, the Draco twins demonstrate a more advanced form of this ability, with their signature fires being a byproduct of their arts. The unified Originium arts
they do not
theory
need to cook
began
this
when
hard with the
scholars
art, man, but
realized
I'm
that
so
all
glad they
magical
did.
systems, regardless of culture, stem from the same source, Originium. This shifted the study of arts from isolated spells to the scientific exploration of Originium itself, promoting a unified approach that made basic arts more accessible through training and technological advancement, rather than just natural-born talent. Building upon these principles, the Colombian school of thought further applied modern science and technology to standardize and refine the Terran's abilities to utilize Originium arts,
Okay.
seeking to even genetically implant Originium arts into an individual.
Oh, okay, that's
Despite
cool.
its prevalence, there are a few exceptions where the source of a person's magical power do not come from Originium arts. Instead, some individuals draw their abilities from other sources, such as the Fairmut, the Seaborn, or the Collapsals. For example, the abilities of the Sui siblings do not stem from Originium, rather they originate from the fact that they are fragments of a Fairmut. Similarly, Milsi's control over water is tied to her lineage, as elves are descendants of a Fairmut. Meanwhile, Mizuki
They're more
and
susceptible
Highmore's
to
abilities
Aripathy
come
as
from
well,
the
yeah.
power of the Seaborn, while the Abyssal Hunters' enhanced physical prowess is the result of their Seaborn genetics. Lastly, the power of the Emperor's Blades originates from the ritual of the Holy Fool, in which shards of a collapsal, or simply known as demons, are fused into the body of the Emperor's Blades.
That's crazy. It's
Originium
fucking cool,
arts
but that's
have
crazy.
evolved from mystical practices into a unified field of study grounded in science. What were once seen as isolated traditions are now recognized as different expressions of the same source, Originium. This shift has led to major breakthroughs in how arts are understood, taught, and used across Terra. Despite this progress, Originium arts remains deeply tied to the culture, bloodlines, and personal experience. From elemental casters to blood mages and ancient lineages, each form reflects the beliefs and environments of its users. Some powers
ARKNIGHTS has got a cool fucking universe, hasn't he? It really has got a fucking cool universe, man. I think this is why I've really fell into this game, because you guys know I'm a big, world building person. I like the world to feel bigger than the story, bigger than the characters. It's just that you're a part of this story right now, and there's untold amounts of stories that could even be bigger or more important than yours potentially, but you're just part of this amazing, interesting world. They did a real good job, man. It's fucking dope.
even fall outside the Originium framework entirely, reminding us how vast and mysterious Terra truly is. As research continues, one truth stands out. Originium arts are always changing. They adapt with society, shaping and being shaped by the people who wield them. Whether used for healing, combat, or progress, they remain a powerful force at the heart of life on Terra. And with that, that's a wrap for today's video on Originium arts. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it interesting to the ends.
That was a great video.
Let us know your guys' thoughts on Originium
Great
arts.
video.
Or if there's
Well made again. Well made video again. They absolutely killed it, guys. If you haven't checked out Terrastorian, you should really go check them out, because this is a group of people working to make some really, really good content. And these guys deserve more subs and views, honestly. I'm really glad to see this. I hope that they pop off when Enfield drops. Hopefully Enfield is rich in lore and content to delve into in that regard, yeah. And I hope these guys pop off because they're doing really good stuff. This is the sort of content we need more of in all of the gacha spaces, right? You know, these people creating this sort of stuff because I can sit and watch lore content for hours. Really, really good video. And again, Terra, cool ass fucking world, man. Cool ass world. Guys, go check out Terrastorian. Show him some love. And go drop a like and a comment in the what's here. The bang, a bananga video. Banger video. It was a great one. Awesome. I really enjoyed that, guys. I really enjoyed that.